young. In quotes, young. K6YYL, WA6LVX.
WA6LVX, K6YYL. Yep, the fun times. Yep, lots of fun times, good times camping. And yeah, and my mom, you know, like I said, I can't even imagine, you know, like I said, my mom and dad took me camping my first time, and I was 4 weeks old, and I can't even imagine my mom, you know, just giving birth 4 weeks before that, you know, going camping and stuff like that. I've given birth, and I know, you know, you're definitely not very comfortable yet, you know, and then plus that sleep deprivation, and I don't know, my dad was always the hey, let's do this, you know, and my mom would be just, okay, whatever, you know, let's go. And what a trooper she was, or is still, you know, she's still alive, and thank God, you know, both my parents are alive, and, you know, of course, you know, just lost my brother suddenly on the 19th of December, and everybody is still shocked about that, that loss, and you know, it just does not seem real. It does not seem real at all. I just can't even believe it. But yeah, yeah, I can't even speak much about it. It's hard. But yeah, many times camping, and camping with my mom and dad, my brother, and everything, and doing little hikes and stuff with them, and we have some pictures of all that, you know, all those good times, and really nice times, and yeah, we, you know, we're always a camping family. And then later on, you know, my husband and I, when we were dating, you know, we'd go camping and do a lot of tent camping, and drove to Alaska and tent camped up there, and now we do have, like I said, the RV, and definitely a lot of the creature comforts, and so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. WA6LVX, K6YYL.
I never drove to Alaska. I up there on a project. I went up on a project in Cook Inlet off of Kenai, and I lived just south of Kenai for a year and 2 months to be exact. I had not intended on it to be that long. My wife wasn't too happy about it, because she was still here in Bakersfield, so she did get to come up a little time up there, and rented a motorhome, and did a little bit of vacation and sightseeing. We went up to the Valley Park and all that. But got to see summer and winter. I cannot recommend winter in Alaska, being from Southern California. K6YYL, WA6LVX.
WA6LVX, K6YYL. Well, let me go back. We flew from Ontario Airport here and to Seattle with all of our camping equipment. I called the airlines and asked them, hey, how much stuff can I bring exactly, because we're camping? And they told me exactly what I could bring. I wrote notes and everything. I packed perfectly. And then when we got to the airport, you know, when it came to fly to Seattle, the ladies at the counter was like, oh my gosh, you have so much stuff. Oh my goodness. I was like, well, I called the airlines here and asked them exactly how much stuff I could bring. And this was 1995. And so she checked off everything. She's like, nope, you're all good. You're all good. I was like, yeah, I know. Because I called and I got all the information about exactly what I could bring and how much. So anyway, so we flew up to Seattle, and then we rented a car from Seattle, and we drove. We drove and drove and drove. It was 3 weeks of the whole trip, you know, driving up through British Columbia, the Yukon, through Alaska, and back down again to Seattle, and then flying from Seattle to Ontario again. But no, that was quite an amazing trip, and we experienced both the Alcan Highway and the Cassiar, and the Alcan was horrendously, you know, in terrible shape in some areas, of course, because the weather just is terrible on the roads, and the weather we had was terrible. We had so much rain and on that trip up through British Columbia. And there were some places it was so muddy. I was like, Larry, don't even stop. We may get stuck. Don't stop. I was worried about that. And but we made it through, of course. And but at one point we met some people who had been driving on the Cassiar. And I think, gosh, I can't remember if it was near Williams Lake or something. I forget the name of the place where you can kind of, the two highways kind of almost, there's a adjoining highway or adjoining road between the two somewhere up there. Anyway, so we met up with people who had just been on the Cassiar, and they were saying how horrible the Cassiar was. And I was like, oh my goodness, Larry, if the Alcan Highway is this bad, I can't imagine how bad the Cassiar is going to be. You know, that must be just terrible. And because that was the way we had gone. It was the Alcan was our way up, and then on the way down, when we hit the Cassiar, I kept waiting for the road to get really bad, and I was like, where's the road going to get bad? You know, all these people told us how bad the Cassiar was, and it wasn't. It was not bad compared to the Alcan. And I was like, after we were through with the Cassiar, I was like, wait till those people get to the Alcan. If they're going to go down the Alcan, that's where they're going to experience something. You know, they haven't seen anything yet. So, yeah, the Alcan was pretty bad, but the Cassiar was really great condition compared to the Alcan Highway. Back to you, WA6LVX, K6YYL.
AI6WP. AI6WP. Well, hello, Steve. You're on the boat, WA6LVX.
Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Kimberly. K6YYL and WA6LVX. This is AI6WP back home in Tahoe, and glad to be back off those kooky roads. And I spent one night on the boat. It was so cold, it was almost unbearable this time of year. The water temperature in the river is very, very cold, and the sunlight is pretty low, and overnight it's pretty rough spending the night on a boat sitting in water that's probably, I don't know, 50 degrees, maybe something like that. Anyhow, I heard Phil say he's not in this morning because he's with family, I think, having their typical Friday breakfast get together. So, and heard you guys on this WA6LVX,
AI6WP, WA6LVX. So, Bill is down in Carlsbad, down towards San Diego. He'll be back on Monday. But he and his daughter went down. I'm not sure exactly what's going on this time, but that's where he's at. And Jim didn't come on. Nobody else. David 75 early, but that's all. And then Kimberly came on here. So we've been chatting about camping and her trip up the Alcan back there several years back. 95, I think. I was with Kenai on a project 19
WA6LVX K6YYL, and I have to comment, the band has really improved quite a lot, Paul, since we started talking. It's just amazing the difference from when we started. I think it went 925, I think it was. Now I hear you very nicely compared to then, where I wasn't copying some of the things you're saying. So, and I'm definitely hearing AI6WP there in Lake Tahoe. Nice to hear you again. So I think I pass it up to AI6WP K6YYL in the group.
Very good, Kimberly. Good morning. K6YYL AI6WP. Yeah. Up on my rest this morning. And the situation at the harbor is stabilized. Paul, they've agreed to let things stand as is, current rates and all that stuff, until they dredge in the fall. They have finally recognized that dredging is their responsibility and they have to do it to accommodate any boats. That harbor is so sad. They're just losing customers right, left, and center because they just have a general belligerent attitude toward their customers. They threaten me and others I talk to with emails, threatening eviction if we don't, in this case, sign their new rental agreement. It's just very, nasty, unpleasant approach to, and as a result, they're losing more and more boats. This place is starting to look like a graveyard. It's the biggest doggone harbor in the North Bay, and it's got maybe 15 to 20% occupancy of all their ships. WA6LVX.
I'm surprised I'm not surprised, it's government. But you're talking about a boat like yours. I don't know what your minimum depth is, but you're pretty good sized sailboat, so you've got a deep keel. With a lot of lead in the bottom of it, I imagine. So you have, if they don't dredge, you can't get out of there. That's terrible. K6YYL,
WA6LVX K6YYL. Well, that's too bad there. I hope everything gets resolved for everybody in a pleasant way. My goodness, that doesn't sound very good. AI6WP K6YYL.
Yeah, K6YYL, AI6WP. That's exactly the issue, Paul. You hit it right on the nose. It's a large sailboat. All large sailboats have that are fixed keel, which most of them are, have a deep keel. That's the nature of a sailboat. A lot of ballast at the bottom of the keel, as you mentioned. Mine is 5,500 pounds solid weight. All is a lump the size of, I don't know, 4 feet by 3 feet by half a foot, something like that. Just a big slab, 5,500 pounds. And you're exactly right, Paul. If I don't time it just right, and get in and out of my slip at high water, I'm sitting in the mud as it is, which is not good for the keel. The mud is abrasive. It wears the fiberglass off the bottom of the keel. The bottom of the keel ain't wet, but it's all glassed in, of course. And yeah, you're exactly right, Paul. As it is, unless I time it just right, I'm not going anywhere. Stay out of the water.
there are large sailboats. By large, I mean that they're 35, 40, 50 feet long. I know a lot of them are deep water boards, and but if they're tied to a dock on the line, you would like to have shore power, and so and that's going to be a good portion of the boats that are there. The smaller power boats are different, but if people are actually traveling, they're going to go sail, other than having diesel power. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. WA6LVX, K6YYL. Let me ask, are there any breakers?
Kimberly, down south, she's on K6YYL. Harvey up at Lake Tahoe, AI6WP. Go ahead and take a turn and turn it to Kimberly.
Yeah, I wasn't hearing who that was. I heard somebody there a little bit, but not so much. Who was that? If you don't mind me asking, Paul, who is that?
Okay, yeah, that was a fellow from Army Service out there at Buena Vista Lake camping. So go ahead, Kimberly.
Okay, yeah, Paul, who is that broke in? Because I can barely hear him.
Yeah, south. What's the call again? He's gone anyhow. He just came in now. He's standing around Kimberly. Go ahead.
Okay, if it was, maybe that was Will, AA6DD, it might have been Alpha 6 Delta, and I didn't really hear him so much today. Anyway, yeah, let me ask, are there any more breakers again? Okay, no one heard, so, and I guess I'll just go ahead and pass it over there to AI6WP, K6YYL.
Okay, kids, I'm going to have a little breakfast. I'm getting a real slow start this morning. I need to get my eyes open and to make something out of the day. See you later, Kimberly, Paul. I did hear the breaker in there, very, very weak. Not sure who it was. So, 73s, guys. I'll catch you probably tomorrow morning. Maybe Phil will be back with his usual irrepressible enthusiasm, which I'm sure we all miss when he's not on the air. WA6LVX, AI6WP, sir.
He probably won't be back till Monday for the countdown. Very good, Jeff. Very good. I'm going to say 73 also. Trying to do some work on the my routing here. For some reason, it doesn't want to let me in. Again, I hate to have to reset it. Open up past report. Ed and I are having a fight. So we'll talk to you tomorrow. And just Kimberly, K6YYL WA
WA6LVX, and AI6WP, K6YYL. And yeah, Phil, I am so impressed with him. He is so sharp, absolutely sharp for 94 years old. My gosh, I am so impressed with him. Boy, I hope I'm still kicking and sharp like that when I turn 94. I hope I make to 94. You know, my brother passed away at 55, so now I've kind of worry about hitting, 55. I hope, I'm 49 right now. I'll be 50 in July, but now, that my brother suddenly passed away at 55, it's just, even though he had some risk factors, it's still, is concerning to me. And that's how one of my friends felt as well. He lost his dad at 55, so he always kind of felt that kind of, age of 55, hoping he would get by and past that, of course he did. But still, he had that same age, 55, to kind of be a eye-opener, like, oh, I hope I make it to that and more, so it's definitely a sudden shock, when you have a passing like that in the family. So, all right, you guys have a great weekend. If I don't talk to you, I hope I will this weekend, I hope, and 7-3s to you and everybody listening, and yeah, great weekend ahead, and hopefully nice weather, and hope everything works its way out there. WA6LVX, AI6WP, and K6YYL, 7-3s, everyone.